Welcome back again for ISO 20000 training program. We are in episode 5 for ISO 20000 awareness training series. Today's session is where strategy meets execution. We are going to explore the implementation journey step by step so you can understand how to go from the theory to practice and prepare your organization for ISO 20000 certifications. We will start these steps by gap analysis. Gap analysis is the first step in ISO 20000 implementation. When you are doing gap analysis, the process is involving how you will assess the current ITSM processes to determine how they compare to the requirements of ISO 20000. Gap analysis is concerned about the current status or current state and the future state, the gap between them, and how you will fill in the gap. So the activities or key gap analysis activities will start from the reviewing of the existing IT service management practices, identifying the missing or weak processes, then assessing the compliance with ISO 20000 requirements, and determining the areas that require improvement or redesign. And the deliverables of gap analysis will be the gap assessment report, which contains the compliance gaps identified, and then we will build accordingly an action plan to address these gaps and prioritize the improvements based on our business needs. So the purpose of gap analysis is to help our organization to understand their current state and develop a clear plan for ISO 20000 compliance. Then we need to identify what is the implementation roadmap. When we are developing an implementation roadmap, we need to outline the step-by-step process for achieving the certification. So we have key phases for the implementation roadmap, starting from phase 1, which is planning. And the key activities within the planning phase is to define the project scope, objectives, and key stakeholders. And the outcomes will be a clear understanding of goals and expectations. Then we will start phase 2, which is process development. In this phase, we will establish the ITSM policy, IT service management policies, procedures, and documentation. And the outcome will be a formalized service management structure. Then we go to phase 3, which is the implementation. In this phase, we will implement ISO 20000 processes, conduct training, and monitor performance. And the outcomes will be operational IT service management framework. Then we move to phase 4, which is the internal audit. In this phase, we will evaluate the compliance through a self-assessment and audits, and the output will be the non-conformities before the external certification. In phase 5, which is the audit or the certification audit, and in this phase, we will engage certification body for an external audit. Then we will achieve our final goal, which is the ISO 20000 certification. So the final purpose of developing and implementing ISO 20000 roadmap is to ensure that we have a structured phase approach to ISO 20000 adoption and reducing the risks and improve our success rate. The roles and responsibilities in 20000 implementation roadmap during the ISO 20000 certification. Our main stakeholders, such as top management, who approves the ISO 20000 implementation plan, provides the funding, and ensures strategic alignment. IT service manager, who oversees the implementation processes or the implementation process to ensure the compliance with ISO 20000 and manage the ITSM policies. Process owner who will be responsible for specific IT service management processes such as incident and change managers. Internal audit team will conduct periodic assessment to ensure compliance with ISO 20000. IT support and service desk teams will implement and execute the ITSM processes and ensure the day-to-day service operations that align with ISO 20000. Then the implementation team of ISO 20000 who leads the documentation, training, and process development efforts. So the purpose of roles and responsibilities is to establish a clear accountability and ownership that will ensure a successful implementation of ISO 20000. If we are integrating ISO 20000 processes with ITIL or other best practices, we need to know the mapping between ISO 20000 and other frameworks. In the following table, we will demonstrate the integration or the relationship between ISO 20000 processes and the equivalent process in ITIL. So, for example, service portfolio management in ISO 20000, the equivalent process in ITIL is ITIL service strategy. Service level management in ITIL is ITIL service management. Incident problem change release management. Availability management, capacity management, when we will add only the word ITIL before the process name. Information security management in ISO 20000 process, its equivalent process is ITIL security management. So there is additional best practice to integrate with ISO 20000, and we saw that together in the first episode when we saw the slide of frameworks that can integrate with ISO 20000, such as COPIT, ISO 20007, 2007001, Lean and Six Sigma processes. So the purpose of this integration is to enhance ISO 20000 implementation and improve the efficiency and service quality. Why continual improvement is important? ISO 20000 follows the plan, do, check, act cycle that ensure the continuously monitored and optimized IT services. So we have our key steps. So plan is to define the objectives and the key performance indicators. Do is to implement the IT service management processes and service improvements. A check is to include the how you will measure the performance against the service level agreements and ISO 20000 requirements. Act is to identify the gaps and plan for the corrective actions and implement it. The ITSM KPIs to monitor. We have several metrics here, such as incident response time, and its definition is the time taken to resolve or to respond to the incident. And you can measure it automatically using your IT service or your ITSM system. We have several examples for the ITSM systems. You have Managed Engine, Service Desk. You have ServiceNow that is related to BMC. Jira can be used as an ITSM. So we can measure the IT service efficiency automatically. Service availability is the percentage of uptime for IT services that ensure business continuity. Change success rate, this will measure the percentage of changes successfully implemented with no issues with your customers. And it is very important because it measures the IT management effectiveness, customer satisfaction score, and this KPI used to ensure that the customer is oriented. It will be concerned about the user feedback on IT service quality, SLA compliance rate, which is the percentage of SLAs meet, and ensures adherence to service agreement. The purpose of KPIs is to ensure that the IT services are measured, monitored, optimized for continual improvement and business alignment. The implementation steps that we demonstrated during our presentation is gap analysis, implementation roadmap, roles and responsibilities, process integration with ITIL, continual improvement and KPIs. The objective of each step, such as gap analysis, is to identify the weaknesses within the ITSM processes, and its outcome is to generate or produce a clear roadmap for improvement. Implementation roadmap, its objective is to define phases and steps for ISO 20000 compliance. So we get compliant with ISO 20000, and its outcome, we will have a structured and efficient transition towards having a successful ISO 20000 implementation roles and responsibilities. Its objective is to assign the ownership of ITSM processes, and the result will ensure the accountability and the smooth execution. The fourth step of process integration with ITIL. This will align ISO 20000 with the industry best practice, and its outcome is optimized service management framework. Continual improvement and KPIs will ensure that your IT services and ITSM performance is refined and monitored, and the outcome will be a long-term service excellence. We now finish our today's session. I'd like to thank you for your time, and in the next episode, we will move into the certification process, how to prepare for the process. We will know what auditors are looking for and how to minimize the non-conformities, progressing on your ISO 20000 path with confidence. Thank you very much. I would like to thank you again for your time, and we'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.